Hey guys, I thought I'd do a little video to run you through our warm-up progression for this coming Tuesday, which is the 14th. That'll be easier, we can explain as we go along. The whole idea of structuring the warm-up in the fashion that we do is to kind of prepare the body for what's going to be coming that day. I know that makes sense to both of you as we've talked before. A couple of key terms, one is pillar preparation, and if we think about this being our pillar, it's really important that we kind of unglue some of this and unglue some of this to make sure that it doesn't disturb that midline stability or our pillar, right? So we're going to start, and we're also going to take a look. The workout is 800 meter run, 30 clean and jerks at 135, 800 meter run per time. So I'm going to target here to prep us for running and pulling, and here for pulling and pressing. So everything's going to be centered around that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a lacrosse ball. We'll work on that posterior shoulder. For people like myself that don't have I don't have much internal rotation. So for me to pull and keep that bar really close is tough for me. So I'm going to attempt to work on that posterior shoulder with that lacrosse ball and also internally rotate my hand at the same time, try to approximate that position, help me get a couple extra degrees, keep that bar a little closer, improve efficiency, etc., etc. We'll also go and hit that upper rib, posterior shoulder region, and upper thoracic spine by doing a little bit of this. That ball underneath that second rib, head can be up or on the ground, thumb up, elbow locked, and just trying to work through that upper space. We can even roll around on a couple of hot spots or sticky points in that upper thoracic spine, okay? The other thing is foam rolling. Gonna be foam rolling through that quad and IT band, which I didn't bring over with me. If we foam roll with that leg, we think about that stride position. We bend that knee, we put more tension across. A lot of CrossFitters have big limitations on their anterior chain mobility, muted hip function, etc. So if we really spend some time breaking down that tissue, getting it to glide a little bit, and again, putting it on tension by locking out the other components, bringing that leg forward, doing the rolling with that knee bent here for the front, for that quad, and the same thing on the side for that IT band, some of those things that typically limit us in those positions. And then we get into our banded work as well. So we can either do, I said we can do one of two things. It's kind of, again, depends. For me, my hip extension is pretty good, but if somebody has a limited hip extension, we can always work on that banded hip extension, being able to come back, drop into this lunge, and see about having that band pull us forward and get a big stretch in the front of that hip and achieve that nice kind of upright. It's very similar to running, right? Looks the same. So can we squeeze that glute, drive this knee forward, get a big stretch here, keeping that pillar upright, 30 seconds on each side or so. Or, if you're like me and you got crappy internal rotation, you can take that same band, do a little bit of that banded bully, pulling that shoulder girdle back, driving that internal rotation, seeing if we can work on that high pull a little bit more, and helping out that way, okay? So that one's kind of a coach's / athlete's choice. From there, we'll activate the muscles that we want to use, so we're going to keep that band on the rig. We'll stand on our left leg and hold that band in our right hand. You'll get into this little semi-squat, single leg balance position. Pillar upright and just rowing with one arm. Looks like this, 10 on each side. Should fire off that core in a different pattern. Again, we're trying to balance asymmetries as we go along. And then since we're going to be doing a lot of pulling and pressing overhead, why don't we just do some band pulls and fire that interscap musculature so we get a nice symmetrical pull as we stand up and pull into our clean, okay? All right, so that's like the beginning. That's hopefully not taking too much time, probably about 8 minutes, somewhere in that range for all those movements, if we can chip through it. The next is going to be just our dynamic warm-up, very basic. We'll go into our standing, walking knee hugs. Again, trying to open things up, disassociate that hip so that we don't have anything restricting us as we are running. Nice and tall, working on some balance. On the way back, we can work on our walking quad stretch, keeping everything up. We have a walk lunge with an overhead, walk lunge into an inverted hamstring. So a walk lunge, very important that we keep this hip open, not closed. As we pop up that inverted hamstring, we just combine the two movements, load that hamstring in that pull, right in the next one, and so forth.
And why is it called inverted hamstring?
I don't know, that's just what they call it.
Okay. Okay, someone asked me that.
I don't know. I don't know. You can do that backwards sometimes too, it's kind of fun, but we don't have to.
All right.
Okay. The next thing is now, so that's going to help activate and lengthen anything that we've done with our hamstrings to get into that big pulling pattern. Plus we drive, especially in pose running, we use the hamstrings a lot. So just trying to fire that stuff off concentrically, eccentrically. Again, just trying to figure out asymmetries and get their neurological system ready for what's to come. The next part is just a patterning drill. We do some marching, so everything looks 1940s, right? Just marching, we're gonna move, march and move across, trunk upright, legs and arms in coordination. We'll do that down. On the way back, something we call our A-skip, which is just a little tiny bit of a skip, kind of helps prep the foot for running, and it's not a big skip. And we travel forward with it. Again, everything else is articulated around that. We'll then do one more length where we skip for height. Another one where we skip for distance. Okay. Now we've primed the system neurologically, we're a little bit more warmed up. Now we want to start loading the system a little bit more. So, so we'll grab a kettlebell. Something medium. Again, we're always trying to balance asymmetry side to side. One of our favorites, you guys have both done this. You'll see it a lot in here. Walk lunge with that kettlebell. We'll go down on the right, back with the left. We'll then go into 15 kettlebell swings. You can choose to go American if you like. Just trying to drive a little bit of power out of that posterior chain for pulling. And the last thing will be an overhead kettlebell walk out the back and around what used to be curves and back in the front door. Depending on time, they can either go halfway and switch hands, or they'll go one loop with the right, one loop with the left. You can go just this grip, or we can take it and make them go inverted, trying to really activate this tall, upright posture. Very similar to how we want to be able to finish here. So again, just trying to activate and integrate all these different systems. Okay, that was a lot in a very short amount of time. Warm-up should probably take about 25 minutes. 20, 25 minutes, somewhere in there. That's a good target. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.